Welcome back to Spectrum Sphere, your hub for a universe of information across all spectrums. Today, we dive into the history of the British Empire, its expansive rise and eventual decline. If you're excited to explore, remember to hit that like button, subscribe, and let's embark on this journey together. Now let's get started. The British Empire was once the largest in history, a global power with colonies and dominions spanning continents. Known as the Empire on which the sun never sets, it encompassed diverse cultures and lands under British rule, driven by trade, conquest, and the spread of Western ideologies. The seeds of the British Empire were sown in the late 16th century, marked by the Age of Exploration and the establishment of overseas trading posts. Driven by the desire for wealth and power, England began its quest for colonial expansion under Queen Elizabeth I, competing with other European powers. As the British Empire turned its gaze westward, the first colonies in America and the Caribbean took root. Ventures like Jamestown, founded in 1607, became the footholds of British expansion across the Atlantic, while the profitable sugar plantations in the Caribbean islands underscored the growing importance of these new territories. The East India Company was pivotal in expanding British influence in India. Formed in 1600 to trade in the Indian Ocean region, it gradually acquired unparalleled military and administrative power. Over time, this mercantile organization laid the groundwork for colonial rule, transforming from traders to empire builders on the subcontinent. The Seven Years' War, a global conflict from 1756 to 1763, marked a turning point for British expansion. Victory over France not only solidified British naval dominance, but also led to significant territorial gains in Canada, Florida, and parts of India, seeding the empire's exponential growth in the following century. However, the British Empire's aggressive taxation policies to pay for these wars sowed the seeds of discontent. In the American colonies, tensions escalated, culminating in the Declaration of Independence in 1776. The ensuing American Revolution dealt a significant blow to British power with the loss of the 13 colonies. With the American colonies fighting for independence, Britain turned its gaze towards other horizons. They sought to compensate for losses by bolstering their presence in Asia, Africa, and the Pacific. This strategic pivot steered them into a new era of expansion, initiating incursions into untapped territories rich with resources and potential. As the Napoleonic Wars raged, Britain's naval might became its cornerstone, allowing it to not only combat Napoleon's forces, but also to protect and expand its overseas territories. The pivotal victory at Trafalgar in 1805 cemented Britain as the supreme ruler of the seas, ushering in a period of unrivaled maritime dominance. The Industrial Revolution was a game-changer for British imperialism. The insatiable demand for raw materials fueled the empire's expansion, while technological advancements in transportation and communication, like the steam engine and the telegraph, stitched the vast empire closer together, cementing British dominance in global affairs. Amidst the frenzied scramble for Africa, the British Empire laid claim to vast territories, seeking to secure valuable resources and new markets. From the Cape to Cairo, British influence expanded, driven by a mix of strategic competition, economic interests, and a purported civilizing mission. Missionaries and explorers played a pivotal role in the British Empire's expansion, paving the way for colonial rule. As they ventured into unknown lands, their efforts to civilize and convert local populations often went hand in hand with laying the groundwork for political and economic control by Britain. Transitioning from the explorers and missionaries, the British Empire also developed a sophisticated system of colonial administration. Central to this was the concept of indirect rule, where colonial power was exercised through local rulers and existing political structures, reducing resistance and administrative costs while maintaining control. As the British Empire expanded, it reaped immense economic benefits from the colonies. Vast amounts of resources were extracted, from precious metals in South Africa to tea and opium in India. These resources not only fueled the British economy, but also helped finance further colonial ventures and infrastructure. To facilitate the movement of these extracted resources and to maintain control over its vast territories, the British Empire engineered an intricate global network. This included the laying of the transatlantic telegraph cable and the construction of the Suez Canal, revolutionizing communication and reducing trade routes dramatically. As the British Empire expanded, it didn't just impose political control, but also cultural norms. English became the lingua franca, while British customs, dress, and education systems were introduced in colonies. This cultural imprint reshaped identities and laid the foundation for a widespread English-speaking world that persists today. The reach of the British Empire brought profound changes to indigenous populations. Lands were claimed, often displacing local peoples, and traditional ways of life were disrupted by the imposition of British laws, culture, and education. This led to a loss of heritage and autonomy that still resonates in post-colonial societies today. Amidst growing discontent, the 20th century witnessed the rise of powerful nationalist movements across various colonies. In India, leaders like Gandhi mobilized masses with calls for self-rule and civil disobedience, echoing sentiments in colonies globally where oppressed peoples began demanding independence and the right to govern themselves. The Suez Canal was a vital artery for the British Empire, dramatically shortening sea routes to India and the Far East. Control of this strategic waterway meant faster movement of troops and better trade connectivity, reinforcing Britain's grasp on its global territories and significantly boosting its imperial power. As the British Empire expanded, it encountered stiff competition from other burgeoning empires, France and Germany in particular. This contest heightened tensions and led to an intricate balance of power. To maintain supremacy, Britain forged alliances and engaged in strategic diplomacy, constantly navigating the complex geopolitics of the era. World War I was a crucible that reshaped the British Empire. The colossal conflict drained resources, claimed numerous colonial soldiers' lives, and sparked inevitable political changes. Post-war, pressures escalated for independence within the colonies, signifying cracks in the facade of the once mighty British Empire. As the dust settled after World War I, the interwar period beckoned a shift in the British Empire's narrative. Economic strains and growing national consciousness within colonies set the stage for decolonization. Voices for self-governance and autonomy grew louder, marking the early tremors of the empire's eventual dissolution. As World War II erupted, the British Empire was drawn into the fray, rallying its vast global resources. Colonies provided troops, materials, and critical support on various fronts. Despite the united front, this global conflict further exposed the empire's vulnerabilities and accelerated the push towards self-determination and independence post-war. In the aftermath of World War II, the landscape of imperialism dramatically changed. The British Empire, weakened economically and politically, could no longer sustain its global dominions. A wave of nationalistic fervor swept through the colonies, leading to a swift and widespread decolonization, radically reshaping the map of the world. The Suez Crisis of 1956 marked a significant turning point for British power. As Egypt nationalized the Suez Canal, Britain's military response alongside France and Israel met with international opposition, and a crisis ensued. This event exposed Britain's waning influence and underscored the country's decline as a global superpower. Transitioning from a period of dominance over its colonies, Britain facilitated the birth of the Commonwealth. It stands as a testament to the empire's evolution into a cooperative assembly of independent nations. Today, the Commonwealth symbolizes a partnership that seeks to foster mutual development, democracy, and peace among its member states. The British Empire's reach has left an indelible mark on today's world. Many current geopolitical borders, particularly in Africa and the Middle East, were shaped during imperial times. This legacy continues to influence international relations and internal politics, with historical ties impacting trade, migration, and diplomatic alliances to this day. Moving beyond historical accounts, the British Empire has been a source of inspiration in popular culture and media. From the suave cinematic spies to the literary adventures of Rudyard Kipling, The empire's themes resonate in novels, films, and TV series, often romanticizing or critiquing its complex legacy. Contemporary perspectives on the British Empire are deeply divided. While some view it as a period of great achievement and the spread of civilizational values, others condemn its legacy of oppression and exploitation. Historians and the public alike continue to debate its lasting impact on former colonies and the wider world. Understanding the full spectrum of the British Empire's legacy is vital in today's world. Historical education plays a critical role in unpacking the complex narratives of power, culture, and resistance. It informs our understanding of modern geopolitics and the enduring social and economic ties that were shaped by this era. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the rise and decline of the British Empire. If you've enjoyed this exploration into history with Spectrum Sphere, remember to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for notifications on our latest videos. Join us again for more diverse discoveries.